have story mode. Well, when people first saw the trailer for this, they thought it was going to be a huge disappointment. But no, they proved them wrong. Telltale made it one of their best games of all time. And heck, I think every episode is pretty much good, and some are just decent, which is really a lot. But today, I'll be counting down the best and worst episodes. Let's get started. Number 3, worst. Don't get me wrong, this is still a pretty good episode. It's just the story is predictable and, well, the average story where everyone gets pretty much hypnotized, and also you have to try and get your friends back to normal along the way. It is predictable, but the graphics do look pretty nice. And I'll admit, it also has really, really good writing. And also the characters are like as lovable as the previous works. They're predictable, but it does have neat writing and also a lovable cast with still great characters and the ones we all know and love. Even the new characters are great. I love them too. But now, let's go to the second worst. Isn't a bad episode either. It just has that story where they had to try and find the greatest builder of all time. And it isn't as creative as the other ones. Heck, even Access Denied is way more better. Although, like I said, the writing is good, right? Not really in this one, no. The writing is okay. It's just some scenes it's just feels like they kind of didn't try as hard. But it still does have the characters we know and love. And there isn't a lot of new ones. Sure, there's Storymode, and he was only met with Jesse in person, but he was only mentioned in the first episode. We didn't really get to know a lot about him other than he's part of the Order of the Stone. The old one. Not a spoiler. But I actually really like Soren. He's well developed, and also we get to know his backstory. And in episode 4, we get to know more about him. But is this a bad episode? Like I said, not really. It isn't as good as the other episodes, but it still is an example of how to make a great episode to Minecraft Story Mode. And the number one worst, and seriously, this is where it actually starts to get bad. Story Mode Episode 2. This was a disappointment. After the first episode, the game was really, really made up for it. But when episode 2 came out, it was a huge disappointment in my opinion. Heck, even some of the gamers didn't like episode 2 as the original. But, does it have good writing? No, not at all. Does it have a good story? No. Does it have likable characters? Actually, yes. And you know how I said the writing isn't good? Some scenes it's good, but not really. Only the choices you make have good writing, pretty much. But the characters are still well developed, and also I love Boomtown and Redstonia. They look awesome. But just the plot does not make up for it, and they really do not go really high up with the story. And it's not as strong as the other works. But it isn't bad. Sure, it might sound bad, but it's just the levels of decent. It is a disappointment, but it isn't bad. Not a Minecraft Story Mode episode we will all know and love in the future, but it still is one that we will consider decent. And now we're moving on to the honorable mentions. Order up. Is this a bad episode? No. It And actually, this whole series is not really even a bad episode. The one in the worst list is only decent, which is actually pretty good. It's just episode 5, well, it doesn't really deliver the same. Well, let's just say some characters are dull and forgettable. But that's kind of the only flaw with it. The whole portal hallway thing is really creative, and I love how they did it. And how they're all heroes in the new Order of Stone is terrific. I love it, and the writing is amazing. I actually consider it the second best writing in the whole series. Well, next to the one in the best list. But really, it actually does, well, have nothing else really wrong with it. And the next honorable mention is to Mystery. Saying, how the frick is this not the best episode? It includes YouTubers and loads that I love, and maybe even you love. Why it's not in the best list? It's just kind of one little fail. The choices of YouTube. Don't get me wrong, I love the YouTubers. I just don't think it's fair that they chose these certain ones. And it kind of depresses me that they didn't choose some of the other ones I liked. Don't get me wrong, there is a few that I do like, and some that I don't really watch, like LD Shadowley. But that doesn't mean I hate her. I did watch a few of her videos, so you might be saying, oh, it's insults that I don't like to watch their videos and I never heard of them. No, I never watched them and I don't hate them. I just don't find them entertaining. I still do love you guys. You guys are really good YouTubers. But also, I feel like the choices for the characters, like the White Pumpkin, isn't as good as a villain as the other villains, like Palma, or even actually Magnus. Now, he is a hero, actually, but yeah, when you think about it, he is kind of a villain in episode 2. Number 3 best. Episode 8 is in the number 3 spot. And the reason why A Journey's End isn't in the number 1 spot is just, it's that kind of predictable story. But that's the only flaw with it. And that is actually just considered nitpicking, actually, for this one. And it is really touching, and the writing is amazing. And hold up. You might be saying, touching for a video game? Yes! It even ripped the tears out of me at some parts. But, don't get me wrong. Like I said, the story is predictable. But that isn't really a big flaw. I mean, the next two barely have any. Or actually none.
Warning. You may disagree with the choice I'm going to do for the second best episode in this pick. Now, there's one thing said. You have been warned.
Number 2 best. For a block in a hard place. Why is the episode where Ruben died in the number 2 spot? It's heartwarming. It is so touching and it's breathtaking. Even the graphics look amazing. It is a huge improvement from the first, second, and third. You might be saying, they look the same. No. They added horses and even more stuff. And it shows that Minecraft can look better from a Telltale game. Which really is saying a lot. Because usually a lot of Telltale games, the designs and the game graphics, I argue, look bad. But no, this actually looks good. Which is really rare for a Telltale game for me. And also the part where Ruben dies, which I wish never happened, is just so emotional. It rips the tears out of you. If you don't believe me, play the episode for yourself. And you will have a lifetime. But you might be saying, What episode can top this? Well, that's because the #1 best Minecraft Story Mode episode is Episode 1, The Order of the Stone. You might be saying, why the frig is this in the #1 spot? Usually people say this is one of the most only decent ones and one of the worst beginnings. Well, if you're one of those people, shut up. Just shut up. If you disagree with me, then just get off this video. I don't care what you say. This is my favorite episode. No doubt about that. Oh my gosh, this is so creative. I never saw a story this creative since Toy Story 3. And amazingly, it actually feels like a movie when you play it. And really, it's breathtaking. The story's creative and the writing is amazing. The characters are lovable. And there isn't really any new characters. But shut up, who cares? This is the best episode. There's no flaws with it. No doubt about that. And there's only one thing I have a problem with. But it isn't really a flaw. It's just the designs. You might be saying, why am I not saying this about the other episodes? Well, I feel like the designs are just a little too basic for just seeing them. But that's just considered nitpicking. That's not even a flaw. There is no flaws about this whatsoever. This is the perfect episode. And if you are a Minecraft Story Mode fan, oh boy, you'll be glad this is for free on Story Mode now. I consider this the best Minecraft Story Mode. No, hold that thought up. The best Telltale episode of all time. Minecraft Story Mode is one of those really awesome games you'll probably never forget throughout your childhood. Even when you're an adult or really old, you'll never forget this game. And if you haven't played Minecraft Story Mode, shut up. Go play it now. And even if you played it already, go play it again right now. Minecraft Story Mode is one of those games that has a few flaws and one decent episode. But it still is a really good game. And usually the only flaw with the episodes is just it's a predictable story. But no, that's not really a flaw. That's just nitpicking. It has lovable characters, and it's one of those games that barely has any flaws, and you'll love no matter what. Even if you're really old, you'll still love this game. And if you just played it, go play it again. Play it right now. If you haven't played it, play it just right now. I don't care what you guys say. This is one of my favorite games of all time. And Season 2 trailer came out. I'm a little hyped. I'm just a little disappointed because I feel like they just left a good ending on Episode 8. Don't get me wrong, though. I already seen Season 2, Episode 1. And I'm going to leave my thought about that soon. But do you think I do not want to see Season 2? No, I still want to see it. But anyways, Minecraft Story Mode is one of the best video games I ever played in my life. Go play it right now. Please. You'll love it.